are Pro Cannabis Media.
Welcome back to Weed Talk News. This is the C block or final section of our weekly roundup of cannabis news. I'm Alaina Pinto. There's been another massive recall of untested products in Missouri, and while these products were not confiscated, they have been taken off the shelves of dispensaries because they weren't tested. So, what now? Let's check in with our Missouri reporter, Brandon Jones.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Jones with Missouri Cannabis Report for We Talk News, coming to you live from the Regalia at the Lake of the Ozarks. So they had the Canna Gala here yesterday and today. So all over the weekend, we took over the entire hotel and had vendors throughout the inside ballroom where you could come around, learn about cannabis, get different products, check all different technologies, live music, and the entire hotel was cannabis friendly, including your rooms and the pool. So it was a great time here. And another party was going down just 40 minutes down the street in the Lake of the Ozarks. So lots of fun going around, taking advantage of the summer and the weather here and where you can get products. If you haven't heard, the second largest recall has happened here in the state. So there's lots of, quote, untested products that got delivered to the dispensaries. They've now had to take all the way off the shelves and put them back in a vault and store. And now they don't know what to do. It's a limbo again, where they have all this product, but there's no money to go back for it. So they can't sell it, or they have to store it. They don't know what the next step is. So make sure you're getting products that have been tested properly. I don't know how this got to the market in the first place, but there's lots of fun going on here in the state of Missouri. That doesn't mean you can't find products. Just make sure you can get your fun, get your medicine, go out and take advantage of the weather. Come out to the Regalia. So I'm Brandon Jones with the Missouri Cannabis Report for We Talk News. Stay medicated and educated. Have a great week.
Hi, welcome to the New Jersey Report for We Talk News. I'm Jill Goldsberry, and here's what's happening in the Garden State. We've been following this ongoing story out of Jersey City for a while now. Mayor Fulop is standing firm on his decision to prohibit police officers from consuming cannabis during their off-duty hours, citing concerns that they do handle weapons, understandably. However, 5 officers who were previously terminated for consuming while off duty have won their cases and have been reinstated and continue to fight for their right to use cannabis on their personal time. As we reported earlier, the officers were ordered to be reinstated, and this happened back in 2023 by Judge Niels, who is now saying that his decision is unlikely to resolve the conflict between the city and the officers, citing that it is, Mayor Fulop is citing that this is in federal court now. And the Jersey City Police Officers Benevolent Association is backing the offers and standing by them in this ongoing battle. In other news, this is Black Business Month in August, and it's also Black Philanthropy Month. So be sure to watch out for my one-on-one with Black entrepreneurs in the cannabis industry. This week, I sat down for a one-on-one with the founders and CEO of Butter Cake. So take a look out for that. And this is We Talk News New Jersey. I'm Jill Goldsberry. Thanks for watching. See you next report.
Now let's turn to the battle in Florida. That battle is over question 3, the ballot question on adult use sales. That question needs to pass by more than 60% of the vote in order for it to become law. In one corner of this 10-round fight, you have Governor Ron DeSantis. And in the other corner, you have Trulieve, the multi-state operator with over 200 dispensaries and the most in the state of Florida. DeSantis is on record about his disdain for the smell of weed, claiming there will be increased crime and people will be smoking it everywhere. At a Republican lunch this week, he took a misinformed shot at Trulieve, calling them a Canadian company since they are traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange. This company is based in his state and has generated millions in tax dollars for the state. Needless to say, this latest faux pas of misinformation has not gone over well with Florida citizens like our new correspondent, Jeff Aker.
Hi, I'm Jeff Aker with Horticulture Consulting in Florida. with this week's Weed Talk News. With Amendment 3 90 days from now on the ballot, I urge all Floridians to get out and vote. Is this a perfect bill? No. There's no homegrown. It's just not a perfect bill, but they argued the language all the way up, so we're glad to have it on the ballot. It's the first step. Hopefully we could get changes to it as time progresses, or the representatives realize it's kind of not the best bill. Also, in Florida news, the hemp companies have donated over $5 million to the Say No program. They do not want recreational marijuana or adult use marijuana in Florida. Marijuana, look at me. Because it's going to cut into their profits. Ron DeSantis vetoed the bill that would have made it illegal. With 10,000 stores in Florida, it's no wonder they don't. If you figure each store has 5 to 6 people, that's 50 to 60,000 employees. So they don't want it. Please get out and vote. In Florida, there's early voting next week on the 20th. I'm going out to vote, and I'm voting yes for 3. Hopefully you will too. Come back next week. I have some more news for you. Jeff Aker with Horticulture Consulting in Florida.
Here in Massachusetts, the focus on the industry is on all the wrong places, like the Cannabis Control Commission. This week, the state regulatory body issued some more licenses in different categories at the same time as more dispensaries are closing. PCM founder Jimmy Young has this week's Bay State report with a little help from our friend Chris Faraone from the Talking Joints Memo.
Thanks, Alaina. I'm the founder of Pro Cannabis Media, Jimmy Young, and this is the Bay State Cannabis Report for Weed Talk News. Growing pains continue for the Massachusetts dispensaries, as many are closing, but they're also opening. So what's the deal? Chris Faraone of the Talking Joints Memo. Is this a good sign, bad sign, or just kind of normal?
But there's still a lot of licensees. There's hundreds and hundreds of licensees, more than 350 licensed dispensaries, I believe, retail establishments. As for whether they're keeping up, I mean, there are still more coming online than there are going out of business. We're at about, there's a couple ways to look at it. To look at that, though. There's about 40 out of business now, licensees. Now, those are all kinds of licensees. Some are cultivators, some were manufacturers, most are retail dispensary operations. But it's a really hard number to pinpoint because not everybody calls the CCC or sends out a press release when they go out of business. You also have a lot of people who were, provisional licensees or even given their final license, but we never heard of these companies. It's like I just heard the other day about a totally random cultivation. I won't say the name, but I don't think they ever put any product on the market. They are final licensed. They do have investors mad at them, but they never put anything out. They've grown some weed. I think they turned some of it into distillate, but to actually get in the game. So I think there are also people in that position. I hate to make estimates. I'd say by the end of the year, we'll be seeing 80 or so licensees under different circumstances just out of business or consolidated and stuff like that. But it's reality.
Has the market leveled off as far as the consumers go? And how does the educational process continue for those that are kind of curious and are not regular users?
Well, I think that some of the part of the success you see in the places that are doing well, that's a couple of things, right? That's location, good old fashioned business. The places that have great locations, guess what? It's a mob scene. Then that combined with places that do, before I get to the education, that do, solid marketing, good deals that people know are there, that play their social media game to the extent that you can do that. But then there is the actual who's helpful. Even there are people who are kind of curious, but even me, I'm a seasoned pro, and I like to go to a place where I know somebody's going to be able to tell me, what kind of dabs they have, if they're runny, if they're solid, if a butter is really a butter. Same thing for the kind of curious. There are places like, I think I'll give a shout out if I can think of Cape Ann. Is it Cape? There's a dispensary that has a nurse. His name is, I think, Nurse Kurt, and he's on staff. I think it's Cape Ann Cannabis up on the North Shore.
Yep.
People love that place. They go in, they know they can actually talk, and not that you need that kind of treatment every time. But some of the places we see go out of business, there's, the reports are all the same. Actually, that's not true. Sometimes those places have good service and good bud tenders, and it's just the operation that's not working. But overall, places people are comfortable with, they know they can go get a variety of products, get some help. They're doing better.
Yeah, and again, it's one of my pet peeves, and it's one of the things we're actually going to introduce is a public service announcement to the curious, to the people that just aren't regular users and want to learn. And I go back to when I first got my medical card in 2013, when they started calling it flower. I was like, what do you mean flower? Right? I was like, that's how ignorant or naive I was at that time. Now I understand it isn't about the THC percentage. It is about the terpenes and how it steers the THC in the particular strain. I mean, you really do need some kind of education or a degree in chemistry just to pick the right one for you.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, no doubt about it. Also, it's very important, that sometimes that first, second, third time somebody goes into a dispensary, they're nervous. Somebody settles them, and I can tell because I'll meet people and they'll tell me, what the dispensary is, sometimes even who the associate was that helped them. But more importantly, they get married to a brand very quickly. If somebody wanted a vape, now the first or second vape, they're now, it's like you're a virgin, you get laid for the first time, and now this is all and now you're married. And that's, companies love that. So companies are really trying to do that, and that's why you see a lot of them have people in stores, and that's education too when it's done right. Of course, having a pop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the difference. And the other thing is, I just wish we'd see more creativity, more specialty stores. A place just, we have Native Sun, for example. Is it Native? Focuses on, has like every drink on the market. I think that there are different places. You got places that just focus on dabs mostly. You have, why am I thinking Blue River, which is, Blue River Terps in Cambridge. They are all nothing's made with solvent in their dispensary. So little things like that. That's more of a pro level thing. But, it'd be great to see a bakery, all baked goods. There was somebody trying to do one of those in Roslindale, I know. So I hope to see some of that, some more diversity in that regard.
One more note in Massachusetts coming up this weekend of August 23rd and 24th. There are two events for the cannabis community. One is out at the Franklin County Fairgrounds. That's in Greenfield. That's Michael Thomason's of Infused production event with online influencers. That's right. People who get paid to give their opinions to their followers. And there's going to be something like 200 of them out there, out in Greenfield. That's going to be interesting, and I'll be there as well. Now, that's Saturday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. up in Greenfield, Massachusetts at the Franklin County Fairgrounds. In Boston, Massachusetts at the City Hall, it's this year's Terptown Throwdown. And that is a full day of music, vendors, and outside enjoyment. Let's hope the weather holds up. That's this week's Bay State Cannabis Report. I'm PCM founder Jimmy Young. Now back to Alaina Pinto for the big finish.
And finally tonight, many legal states restrict the exterior design of dispensaries. Here in Massachusetts, they don't allow anyone to window shop or even look inside a window at the interior of the dispensary. In Norwalk, Connecticut, they have another problem. The exterior design of a licensed drive-through dispensary. Check this out. This is called Shangri-La, and its CEO, Naval Patel, thinks his store will stand out since it has a pink and purple exterior. The Norwalk town planner, Louis Schulman, gave Shangri-La the permit to operate, even though he says the building is ugly, really ugly. Patel thinks people will like to take pictures of it and that it attracts attention. Well, what do you think? Or if you are like most cannabis consumers, if it sells good cannabis and it's priced right, you'll love it, right? That's this week's Weed Talk News. I'm Alaina Pinto. Remember, it's a whole new world of weed out there, so use it responsibly, and we'll see you next time.
It's a whole new world of weed out there, isn't it? Everyone is learning new ways to titrate, ingest, consume, imbibe, and engage with this plant medicine we call cannabis. Now, let me tell you my cannabis story. You know, I've had 4 major surgeries in the past 23 years and suffer from osteoarthritis with a variety of metal parts in my body and one on deck. Now, thanks to those chronic pain issues, I've been a medical patient in Massachusetts for almost 10 years now. I remember my first trip to a dispensary just outside of Boston, and I told the bud tender I didn't want to smoke it anymore. So I tried edibles, then tinctures, then vaping, and now if I'm going to smoke, I only use the Weegits filtration system. What? The Weegits.com, Weegits, that's weed, W-E-E-D, G-E-T-S.com, is where you'll find the planet's coolest product that cools the smoke from everyone's favorite flower. The guy that started this was a pretty good medical device manufacturer, and he created this maze pipe that cools the smoking process from 1300 degrees Fahrenheit upon inflammation down to just 90 degrees when it reaches your mouth. That's right, 1300 down to 90. That's why this maze pipe is amazing. Now, add in the code of PCMTV and you get 15% off. So just go to Weegits.com and check out the best way to enjoy a cooler smoke with less coughing and hacking and more peace of mind.